So today we're back in the detail garage and we're going to be doing some more parking lot damage repair. Now this is a real common issue. We were doing another video like this a couple weeks back where a Scion FRS had gotten bumped in a parking lot and someone had ran away. Same thing happened with this one. A customer came into our store and he has this really beautiful Subaru BRZ, but when I walked into the parking lot, I saw that it had all this damage on the side, and I asked him what happened. He said he was just parked in a parking lot, came out, and this was done. So somebody didn't leave a note, they pulled a bad move, so we're gonna try and fix it today. So from my eyes, what it looks like happened is that the bumper of the car, when they were backing out and turned the car, it slid on the whole side of the Subaru BRZ. So I think that I can fix it maybe like 80%. There is a big dent in the door, and the owner said that he's gonna have it repaired by his insurance, but he doesn't have the money for the deductible. So I don't want him to live with this type of damage until he gets the door fixed. So I'm actually gonna try and remove all of this scuff mark, all the paint transfer, and I'm gonna try to maybe repair some of the damage to fix it. So we're gonna go step by step and do this. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wash the surface. And because I'm doing a spot repair, I don't need to wash the whole entire vehicle. So I'm gonna use EcoSmart so I can wash just this spot. So EcoSmart's a waterless wash, and it's gonna allow me to clean the surface really easily. Okay, there we go. Now this car is real dirty. It actually has like water spots over the whole entire vehicle. But I only really want to clean the area that got scuffed. And I could tell just by this scuff that the owner has not washed the car since it happened. So even when I used EcoSmart, it took off a lot of the light damage that happened on the paint. There we go. So now we got a better view of what we're trying to fix right now. You can see how EcoSmart really cleaned up the whole surface. And now that I'm seeing that the surface is clean, I'm seeing other impact marks, like an impact mark right here, and then the main impact mark, which is right here. And this is real, real bad. When you look at it, it's just horrible. So the surface feels a little rough, and now I'm gonna go ahead and clay bar the surface. So I'm going to grab some medium clay bar. This is our chemicalized medium clay. And I'm going to go ahead and clay the surface. Now I'm going to use some quick detail spray as my lubricant. And just like the washing, I'm going to clay bar just the area, because that's the only area we're going to polish today. So the thing about detailing is that if you're doing this professionally, you're not always going to be doing full-on details. Sometimes a customer might come to you and ask you to fix this type of damage right here. Now normally I would just polish with the whole car, but the owner doesn't have that much time. He's only here for a little while, and this guy was from out of town. So we're actually going to just do this spot repair for him and let him do the rest. He was in our store, so he came, he saw us online and wanted to pick up some stuff in person. So he came down to get all the right stuff. So he's gonna get all the right stuff to do his car himself, but he doesn't have a machine polisher, and I know I can fix this for sure. So I'm gonna fix it for him. Now this car was real rough. It feels like it hasn't been clayed ever or in a long time. So I'm going to recommend to the owner that he clay bar the rest of the car when he's done, or when I'm done today. Now also with the clay, if you have paint transfer, sometimes the clay will actually take off the paint transfer. So make sure that you give that a try first before you actually start polishing. There we go. Now I took a lot of contamination off the paint, so that's real good. It's going to make the surface feel smooth. And always remember to take your clay and put it back in your little container so it doesn't get dirty. So now that that's done, I'm going to grab a new microfiber towel and I'm going to clean the area. Now that we got the area cleaned and we got it clayed, I'm going to inspect the surface again. See, okay? So the clay bar actually took off some of the paint transfer now, which is really cool. But there is some deeper paint transfer that will not come off. And I can feel it with my fingernail, so we're going to try and remove it. This looks like it's a good candidate to be repaired. There's some spots that are a little bit lower on the paint, but let's try and see what we can do to fix it. So I'm going to go grab my pads and my machines. My pads are over on the cart. But the way I'm going to fix this is I'm going to first try a rotary machine, just because I know that the rotary is going to be able to cut it out real fast. And after I'm done with the rotary, I'm going to use the Torque 10FX dual action polisher to refine the finish. Now, when speaking about paint hardnesses and thicknesses, Subaru paint is generically very soft. So this overall, generally Japanese paint or Asian paints are very soft, and this one, just like the Toyota FRS, the BRZ is extremely soft paint. So I need to cut through with the V34 to remove all the heavy scratches, and then I'm going to refine it with the V38 to bring back the gloss. Now, I'm not polishing this whole door, I'm only polishing this one spot to try and fix it for the owner, and then maybe when I'm done, I'm going to wash the whole side of the car for the owner and send him on his way. So let me go grab my pads, and then we'll come back and start polishing to repair the surface. We'll see you in a moment. So this is the next step in our parking lot repair. Now, this is the second time we've done this just this month, and cars are getting hit in parking lots. And if you guys are out there and you're driving in a parking lot or have your car parked and have ever come out and had a stranger hit your car and then run off, it's very, very, very common, and it can really make the owner sad. So we're going to try and repair this today. The funny thing is that on our last video, people were actually talking about how they parked their cars out in the middle of a parking lot to try and avoid this problem. And then they come out after like 2 hours of shopping and somebody's parked next to them in the middle of the parking lot. So if you've ever experienced that, comment in the box below. We enjoy that type of comments on our video. So let's start with the correction. So we're going to use an orange Hexalogic pad. This can be picked up on our website, chemicalguys.com. And we're going to be using a Flex PE14-2. This is a really, really good rotary machine to correct it. So I'm going to use V34. Now, V34 is a compound, and I need the compound to cut off these deeper scratches. Some of these scratches right here are super deep. Hopefully the camera can get this, but a lot of these are real deep, and we need to try and fix that. So let's take some V34 now, and I'm going to put just a few drops on the pad. Here we go. And I think this might take me like 2 passes to go. I'm going to wet it a few sprays with some water, and then put this out of the way and start polishing. Now, I'm sitting on the ground today because this is really low on the car, and it's a little bit difficult to polish sitting up. So I'm going to go ahead and bump this on speed setting 1, and then I'm going to bump it up to about 1800 RPM. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and inspect my area right now and see the type of work that we've done. I'm going to grab a microfiber towel. And you notice I'm doing a little different type of polishing. I'm not going in a specific grid. It's because this area has different depths of scratches, different types of paint transfer, and I'm having to work smaller areas to achieve the right result of getting it all gone. I know I'm not going to be able to remove it off 100%, but if I can get this improved to where it doesn't look so bad, I'm going to win on that one. Okay, so what I noticed right here is there's a little bit more of an area right here where it looks like the paint is chipped maybe, but I got a huge portion of all the scratches out, which is really good, and it's already looking better from a distance. Yeah, there's like a super fat crease here, which is like dented in the door, but if the owner can get away with just driving around like this for a few weeks without that big ass dent or big ass scratch on the door, it'd be better for that. So we're going to try again. So let's move on to our next step right here. There we go. I'm actually going to polish a little bit more to see if I can work that area just a little bit. Remember, this isn't science right here. This is kind of an experiment to try and just make the car look a little bit better. I grab water. There we go. And let's move on to our next step. Okay, so from just my experience, I think that's as good as it's going to get as far as removing a lot of the scratches, and I pretty much did get about 80% of the scratches gone. There's some deeper marks right here, but that's going to happen when you have this deep of an impact. So right now I'm going to switch my machines to the dual action from the rotary just to refine the finish and make it look real good. Now, if you were watching our last video that we talked about with the Scion FRS, which is practically the same exact car of this, but a Toyota badge, the paint on that car was actually softer than this. I used the same technique with the V34 and the orange pad and the rotary machine, but on the BRZ, or sorry, on the FRS, the Toyota model, the paint hologram is super easy. This paint actually didn't hologram very much, and honestly looks pretty good with just the V34. So this paint's a little bit harder, has a little bit more rigidity to it. It doesn't make it better paint, it doesn't make it worse paint, it's just a different type of paint because all cars are different. So I'm gonna switch machines and we're gonna move on to the next step. So now we moved on to our last step. Now I removed all the deeper scratches with the rotary machine and it made it look a lot better right off the bat. Now obviously there's a big crease in the door from somebody hitting the car because it was obviously an accident. But if I had to drive around with a crease in the door or a huge mark with scratches and scuff marks bringing more attention to the crease, I'd rather take just the crease by itself. Now this is obviously needs to be repaired at a body shop, but this is going to be a temporary fix until the owner can get it to a body shop, because obviously you don't want to be driving around with that type of damage. So I'm going to now refine the paint using the V38, and I'm going to use the dual action polisher. From my experience as a professional detailer on a BRZ or any type of Subaru that's World Rally Blue, which is this like an iconic color, World Rally Blue responds very well to V38 and a white pad. So I'm going to do that right now. So I'm going to take some V38, I'm going to put a few dots on this white pad. This is a brand new white pad, so it still needs to saturate in a little bit. And then I'm just going to lubricate it with some water. Usually when I'm doing just average polishing, I'll use pad conditioner. Or if it's an older pad, I'll use pad conditioner. But if I have a brand new pad and I'm just doing spot repairs, I usually like to use water because it gives the polish a little bit more cut because it doesn't have any friction additives. It's only just to moisturize the pad a little bit. So I'm going to run this over the surface, and I'm actually going to blend up and blend down a little bit since I cleaned and clayed it. And I'm going to bump it up from speed setting 1, which I'm going to spread on, all the way to 6, which I'm going to bump up. There we go. I'm going to grab my microfiber towel and I'm going to buff off. You notice the V38 turned pretty clear. And now I'm just going to wipe off just the tiny bit of excess that's left on the surface. And there we go. We're left with a nice, or at least better repair job than what the owner had. And there we go. We really did improve it about 90%. I know Matt behind the camera was saying that it does look about 90% better. It's better than having all those deeper scratches and all those scuff marks over the paint, because if you're in a parking lot and this happens to you and your car gets hit, which this happens every day for people, it's happened to me, it's probably happened to you if you're watching this video, you can easily fix it if you have a machine polisher. So that's why if you have a car, having a machine polisher like a Torque 10FX or a rotary machine can actually help you do these spot repairs, help you get the repairs to make your car look better and fix accidents like this. So we hope you guys like this video. If you guys enjoy this video, give it a thumbs up. We really appreciate that. Or click the subscribe button to see more of these cool videos. Also, go over and check out our spot repair of parking lot damage from a Scion FRS. It's almost the same exact car and it's the same type of situation, but a completely different type of damage repair. And the other one was on the quarter panel, this one was on the door. And you can see the differences of how that repair and this repair came out, because even though it's gonna have to go to a body shop, it still looks a lot better than just having all the damage on the car. So hope you like this video. Give us a thumbs up, give us a subscribe, go to our website, check out all the stuff that we got at chemicalguys.com. But always remember to have fun, stay clean, keep on detailing.